into that true crime, and I want to let people know, you know what I'm saying? I want to let people know, man, you know what I'm saying, that your boy Jay always gonna be diverse. I know when I be kind of going into the sports lane, I know some of y'all probably be getting worried, like, man, this man Jay ain't never gonna go back to true crime. This man ain't never gonna go back to scary vids. But I'm always gonna be a diverse YouTube channel, and I feel like that's what people love about me the most, bro, is that, you know what I'm saying, I'm always, bro, coming back, bro, you know, because I know, like, for me, like, even if I was to watch a YouTuber, I don't just want to watch sports. Like, you got some people that don't just want to watch sports. You got some people, like, I've created 400 subs on the gaming channel. Hey, Ramus, man, they didn't believe in me, man, but God did, man. I appreciate all the support. But nah, though, man, y'all, I created such a diverse fan base, and I did it on purpose. Like, you got some people that literally is subscribed to me, bro, just for true crime. You got some people that subscribe to me just for scare reaction. That's why I be trying to tell y'all, bro, like, it's harder than it looks, because it's like, I gotta cater to so many people, y'all. I gotta cater to the sports people. I gotta cater to the true crime people. I gotta cater to the scary people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta cater to so many people. That's why, like, a lot of y'all, bro, a lot of y'all be selfish. Like, Jay, we want more football. Like, Jay, we want more basketball. Jay, we want baseball. We want this. But y'all, I gotta cater to so many people. I'm one person, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know how many supporters I get? Have y'all seen my DMs? You know what I'm saying? Have y'all seen my DMs? I be wanting to tell y'all, bro, DMs is flooded, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm one person. I don't know, people just be thinking I'm this superhero or something. I just don't understand. I'm not superhero. I am human. You know what I mean? But we got husband discovers his wife is a mass killer. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man, aka Mr. Take It Easy, but you end up like easy. But make sure y'all follow my Instagram and Twitch, man, in the description down below. And like I said, y'all, they didn't believe in me, but God did. You know what I mean? But nah, though, man, the gaming channel, I think I hit 400 subscribers, bro. If I'm correct, I hit 400 subscribers, man. So I really appreciate y'all, bro. I be trying to tell all the ugly women and all the ugly men, I do not take y'all for granted at all, man, for real. But, you know, husband discovers his wife is a mass killer. Now, this right here, just discovering that my wife is a mass killer is something that I won't even know, like, I couldn't even know how to react. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be so shocked, like, to, just notice that. Just imagine that right quick. I want y'all to just sit down and just imagine, you know what I'm saying? Like, your wife being a mass killer. She's so lovey-dovey around you. She's so, like, so good around you, man. She's just this innocent woman, bro. And then you find out she is, you know, a mass killer. Oh my God, but I want to know how to react, boy. Like, my wife, you? I wouldn't know how to react. I'd cry, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'd cry, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, my best friend. Because, you know, when you get married, bro, like, even, like, how it was with my ex-girlfriend, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, she became my best friend. That's what it really, like, supposed to be. And that's really how it be. And for people that be in a relationship, bro, it's like, you know, your girl become your best friend. So it's like it's your best friend and your lover and your girl. So it's like, that don't hurt me, bro. Like, if my wife ever became like a mass killer, because like, I'm not only losing my wife, but I'm losing my best friend as well. You know what I mean? Like, when it came to my ex-girlfriend, bro, we was just doing everything together, bro. Like, it was just me and her. Every day it was me and her. We on the phone every day. I'm hanging out with her. Like, that's my best friend. You feel me? That's really how it be, bro. You know, that's why God says y'all gonna become one. Y'all really become best friends. Y'all do everything together. You see how so Illuminati is with his girlfriend? That boy play with Lily on 2K. He always with Lily. You feel me? That's how it be for real, y'all. But your girl become your best friend.
Beauty contestant.
She's lost her mind. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a god.
Anybody you spoke to who knew Lori back then?
A god don't get locked up. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. God don't get locked up. You can't lock up God. You can't put God in the cage and say, oh, God, you're, you know, so you just, yeah, you lost your dang mind. But you finna find it out. You finna find out real quick you ain't no God. You finna find out real quick.
She was like the mother of the year.
So what makes her a danger to herself and to others? Threaten me, murder me, kill me.
We're gathering together as saints, as brothers and sisters, and preparing for the second coming of Christ.
She threatened to murder you? Yes.
6 months later, Vallow was shot and
What the freak? Oh my God.
She threatened to murder you? Yes.
6 months later, Vallow was
I
shot
did
and
not
killed.
expect
They
that.
found a man with gunshot wound who was later pronounced dead.
The first death that kicked off.
Hey, look. Hey, look. All I'm saying is, y'all, look. If your girl threatens to murder you, leave. That's one thing you don't do is threaten to kill me. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. You don't do certain things to me. I ain't gonna lie. You don't pull a gun out on me. You know what I'm saying? Certain things we just can't come back from. And I forgive you for sure. I forgive you. But one thing, that's a true statement. Forgive, but never forget. I can't stay with no girl that pull out a gun on me. You pull out a knife on me. You say you're going to murder me. That right there, you cross the bridge and I would never ever be with you again. I'm going to break up with you on the spot.
Multi-state.
Certain things you can't say to me and certain things you can't do to me.
Living room floor.
What happened today? How did it get to this?
She said, you're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers.
So how does she pose a threat to your children?
Lori, where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
Now, Lori Daybell appears to be somebody else. She has 2 missing children, JJ Vallow, Tylee Ryan.
I don't know what she's going to do with them. I don't know if she's going to flee with them. She's going to hurt them.
All right, is this house or the one with the flashing lights?
Up there. Cars are all behind. I don't know where my kids are. Well, get in. Oh my God.
It all started on January 31st, 2019, when Charles Vallow was still alive and had just returned from a business trip to find he was locked out of his own house.
All that little love and all that, I realized, bro, love and, you know, but love will never overshadow me. I ain't gonna lie. I just know me and I know myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, love, bro. Yeah, I love you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you gotta love yourself more than you love her. That's how it is. You gotta love you. I feel like when a lot of dudes get in relationships, they lose that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they start loving the girl more than they love themselves. I gotta love me more than I love her. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I gotta love me. You know what I'm saying? Because best believe that girl love her more than she love you. Best believe that. You know what I mean? So it's all about loving you before loving you more than you love her. You know what I mean? Don't lose that aspect, you know, because a lot of dudes be loving themselves, you know what I'm saying, a lot when they single. But then when they get with a relationship, they start loving the girl more than they love themselves. So you can't lose that aspect, bro, of yourself. You know what I mean? That's why I say, like, you gotta have standards and you gotta have morals. And it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, that junk be hard. I'm not gonna sit before you today and be like, dang, like even when it come to my ex-girlfriend, I didn't want to break up with my ex-girlfriend, but I had boundaries. I didn't want to I told y'all the most beautiful girl I've ever seen in my life. Her name was Na. I'm gonna tell her name was Na. She had a baby. You think I wanted to cut her off? Like, she was beautiful. She had a baby. Bro, I love myself more. I just have morals. I have boundaries. So it's a lot of girls that I didn't want to cut off, but just because I have morals and just because I have boundaries, I had to do that just because I respect myself just that much. I love myself that much that I refuse to just put myself in certain situations. You know what I mean? That's the type of love you got to have for yourself, bro. Even if it hurt. I'm not going to sit here and act like I just don't hurt. It don't hurt. Hurt bad. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be a different type of dude, bro, to be on something. You got to, you know, go over that hurt and be like, man, this is what I got to do for me. You know what I'm saying? This is the best thing I got to do for me. And that's what I did with my ex-girl. I did not want to break up with my girlfriend at all. But I feel like that was best for me. That was what's best for me to do. I had to break up with her.
With no sign of his
And
wife, Lori, or his kids, JJ and Tylee. His car had also gone missing, and a large sum of cash had been withdrawn from his bank account. So when he offered to get some answers, he called 911.
So what's going on tonight?
I can't get in touch with our kids.
How old are your kids?
6.5 and 16. She's lost her mind. I don't know how else to say it. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a a God, and remember the 144,000. Jesus is coming next year.
So what makes her a danger to herself and to others?
Threatened me, murder me, kill me.
She threatened to murder you?
Yes. She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
Is this just all recent, or has it been going on?
Been going on for about 4 or 5 years. It's gotten really, really bad lately. She goes to the temple every day and speaks with Moroni.
Goes to the temple? We just did a video about the temple.
Charles. You're not Charles. You're Nick Schneider.
We just did a video about the temple.
Schneider is an evil spirit who has possessed Charles' body, and he believed these threats against his life were very real. In the last few years, she had become obsessed with the teachings of a man named Chad Daybell, a man well known for writing dogmatically and teaching his thoughts about the end of days, the second coming of Christ, and other more unique concepts like evil spirits and zombies. Both Chad and Lori were also members of Preparing a People, a cult who were preparing for the second coming of Jesus Christ
just did
and
a
the
video
end of
about
the world as we know it. Lori also
in the Bible warns y'all
of the
about people.
4,000, a group of high priests who will administer the
Bible warns y'all about these people. That's crazy. How true the Bible is.
She also believed that every human was on a scale between light and dark, and the darker one's spirit was, the more dangerous they were to her and her beliefs. Lori had actually become so involved in this new religious belief that Charles had become concerned not only for himself, but his 2 children as well.
She said to me, "Charles' stuff is gone. You're not Charles, your stuff is gone. I don't know what's happening."
And how long have you been trying to get in touch with the kids?
Since yesterday.
So how does she pose a threat to your children?
I don't know what she's going to do with them. I don't know if she's going to flee with them. She's going to hurt them. And today she said, "Come take the kids. I don't care what happens to them. I just want to see my boys okay." And she's got a pickup order.
A pickup order can be obtained after one parent fails to deliver a child to another parent. As Charles has not heard from his kids in days, he felt he had no choice but to take action. The cops then helped Charles get back in the house, but it was too late, as Lori and the kids were gone. The very next morning, Charles called 911 again, this time directing them to a hotel in Gilbert, Arizona, where he believed Lori was hiding out with JJ and Ty Lee. This time, though, Charles had managed to obtain an emergency mental health petition, a note that would require Lori to check into a mental health institution and undergo assessment.
What's going on? Why is she here and you're not here? Or are you staying here with her?
Long story. She's had kind of a break from me. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad lately. She's had a break. She says, "I'm Nick Schneider. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles has been killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow."
Charles had already tried to find Lori earlier that morning.
Ain't no girl talk to me like that.
School, but despite seeing her car in the parking lot, there was no sign of her at all. However, she had left her purse in the car, so Charles took it in hopes that it would stop her from getting away. This worked perfectly, as she walked into the Gilbert police station later this same morning to report her missing purse. But her version of events was much different.
So this morning when I took my son to school, he was waiting somewhere and stole my purse out of the car, my whole purse. So my phone, my wallet, my money, my everything was in there.
What is it that motivates him doing this kind of stuff? Did he say why?
I caught him cheating and I had evidence and I told him about it, and he travels a lot for business, so I told him about it. I told him not to come home and that his stuff would be gone and that his car would be gone and all this thing.
I don't think he liked that.
So he's a little mad.
She claimed that she'd caught Charles having an affair and told him not to come home, locking him out of the house and taking his car. The first of many carefully fabricated lies that would not only ruin Charles's life, but end it. Police informed Charles that he can't steal Lori's property no matter what the motive. A deal was then formed between them, saying that if Charles returned her purse, then the police would immediately follow up with the mental health petition. But eventually it went through, and Lori underwent her assessment. However, in 2 hours, Lori was released with the doctors finding no issues at all. This decision sentenced Charles to death and put his kids' lives in jeopardy. Charles filed for divorce, and 6 months later, his body was found at Lori's house with 2 gunshot wounds across his body.
See what I be saying, bro? People, that's what I be saying when it comes to this justice system, bro. They don't do nothing until something happens. This man been calling the police, Now look. Just don't understand the system sometimes. You know what I mean? Now you want to do something. Now you want to take it serious. Dang, it took for a nigga to lose his life for you to take it serious? You know what I'm saying? You just discharged her. You feel me? Oh, like, bro.
The fate of his children was now in the hands of their delusional and dangerous mother.
Hey, team, we got one subject down, apparent gunshot wounds to the chest. He's right here in the living room. Firearm's gonna be in the front door, in the front bedroom.
This when they start taking it serious right here.
You wanna stay in here? I'll see if I get
this when they start taking it serious. When the nigga dead.
Was found,
now they finna start investigating.
Determines the shooter to be Alex Cox, a man who just so happened to be the brother of Lori Vallow.
What's going on? What happened?
He came at me with a bat.
Okay. Was he living here or visiting?
He came to pick up his son.
Okay, is his son inside?
No. My sister took him to school.
Okay, so it was just you at the house?
Yes.
And he came, how long, what time did he come to pick up the son?
I don't know, 20 minutes ago maybe.
Okay, so you know who he is, let him in?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think they were talking earlier, then she left, and then he got into it with me.
Like what? What do you mean?
I don't know, he was...
Alex seems very vague in his answers and says he can't remember exactly what happened other than the pair simply got into a fight. But those kinds of answers aren't going to satisfy the cops, especially when there's a dead man involved.
So you both, so you get in an argument? What is it over?
Well, it was over my sister. He was getting physical with her, and so my niece came out with her bat, and then he took the bat away from her.
Wait a minute, I thought you said your niece left.
She did, but this is before.
So before your sister and your niece left,
yeah.
At some point your sister and her husband are arguing.
Yes.
Verbal argument. And then your niece pulls out a bat?
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister with her bat.
Your niece?
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and then he took it away.
Okay.
And then he's coming back at me, and he stuck out the bat in his alley. What are you doing?
And where are you at it? Where are you both
in the living room.
Okay.
And then I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. I went to my room and got my gun.
So you went to your room, meaning the room you're staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
Do you always bring a gun? Okay, why didn't you stay just in your bedroom, close the door? Is that something you didn't think about, or?
It didn't even occur to me.
This final statement should actually have torn down Alex's entire argument, as it technically proves this wasn't self-defense at all.
He murdered him.
When Alex went to his room to grab his gun, he should have been able to usher his family inside, close the door, and stand his ground from there. Instead, he grabbed his gun and without a second thought, ran straight up to Charles and shot him. But at this point, there were still so many looming questions. The cops decided to bring in all parties back for an interrogation to try and get to the bottom of it all and figure out exactly what happened to Charles.
Start where you think it makes the most sense.
Okay, so we moved into this house 3 weeks ago because he offered to get me a house here where all my family is when we were in Houston. We had decided to separate or whatever, so he's like, well, I'll pay for a house for you and for JJ and whatever, because he's all about JJ. He's never about Tylee, but he's all about JJ. Because we adopted him together. He's his great nephew. We adopted him as a baby. He came when we first moved in and brought me stuff from Houston, like a U-Haul, and then he hasn't been back. But it's all these threats on my phone all the time, you know, like whatever, all these things. And then he told me,
what kind of threats?
Just, he's always mad at me, right here, and he doesn't want a divorce, but I don't like him and don't want to deal with him, so that's just how it is. Like, so we married for 14 years, we dealt with it for 14 years, of him being horrible to her. Like, he gets in huge fights with her, a lot of things, but anyway.
Immediately, Lori describes Charles as a man with violent tendencies, with a history of aggression against the women he had married. If she can convince detectives that Charles had a temper, it would make their version of events even more plausible.
So
you see how people be lying with a straight face, y'all? You see how they be lying with a straight dang face? You know what I mean? He's lying just dead for real. That's why I say I don't believe nothing until it's proven. I'm sorry. Too many liars out here, man. Too many liars out here that will just lie just because. I don't believe nothing until it's proven. If I do not know for certain that happened, I am not believing it. You know what I mean? And that's just me. I gotta believe it. I gotta see something. That's what I said when it came to Shannon Sharp, Justin Tucker, Deshaun Watson. I have to see proof before I believe any rumors. I don't believe a dang thing this woman's saying. That man ain't just going around calling the police, making all that stuff up for no reason. You know what I mean? You lying. I know you lying. I can just look at you and just tell you lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, that man ain't just making up them stuff for no reason, bro.
And he's like, I'm coming on Wednesday night, and I'm gonna come pick up JJ.
Like, come on, bro.
Thursday, take him Friday, whatever. And I said, Casey wanted to come to the house, and I said, you can't come stay at this house because you can't get along with Tylee. She's a minor, and she has to live here. Yeah. So because he gets in huge fights with her. Okay. And she hates him. And so like, you can't stay at the house, so I would book you a hotel because he stays in hotels all the time because he travels for business.
But all I be saying, like, who do women think they are by trying to kick a man at his own place? Some women be having the audacity, you know what I mean, to like I don't know what's with some women. Some women think they just like when it comes to children. You got some women think that they're just like, it's their children. Like, oh, he came out of me. I held him for 9 months. So yeah, I it's my child. Like, you know, if we split it, he comes with me. Like, bro, without us, you don't have, like, bro. And this one thing, like, I'll be trying to say with children, like, it's like we carry children forever, even though it's not painful. You know what I mean? Like I say, women, you're under a curse. That's the only reason childbearing pain, that's the only reason you have childbearing pain, bro, because you're under a curse. You know what I mean? But, bro, children come from us. You know what I mean? They come out of you. You know what I mean? They come from us. They come out of you. You feel me? Women be thinking, oh, man, you know, I carried the baby for 9 months. We carry him for eternity. Carry him for 9 months and I pushed him out. So, yeah, they just give me the right to have my child. Same thing for the house. You know, this is my house, you know? I don't know what's with some American women. You feel me? Cause I tell y'all, man, I go to them other countries, you ain't got rights. America, bro, I'm telling you, America's made for women, bro. He law's made for him, bro. The audacity to kick a man at his own house, telling a man he can't stay at his own house. The audacity with some women. I be laughing. Like, it's funny to me. How about you go stay in the hotel? How about that? How about you and that little girl go stay in the hotel then? You telling me I can't stay at my own house is it's blasphemy. I repeat, blasphemy. The freak this nigga. What the freak you telling me I can't stay at my own house? If you got such a problem with me, how about you go to the hotel? But I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like, being a man, though, honestly, like, being a man, bro, even though, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah, it's your house, it's like, you going through something like that with your wife, bro, it's best, bro, for you to go stay in the hotel. So that's what I do. Like, even though it's my house, that's what I think what a lot of men do. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, okay, it's my house, but I'm not finna go back and forth with my wife. I'm not finna turn this into something bigger. You know what I mean? Because I really don't want to be around shorty right now. So I'll go get a hotel. But if you think I'm never finna come back to my house, that's over with. You got a problem with that? Then we can have a divorce, you know what I mean? We can file a divorce, you know what I mean? I ain't finna keep going back and forth with it, you know? We're gonna get them papers ready and we gonna sign the divorce. We gotta worry about no hotel and house. We just gonna separate. You feel me? Go on about our ways, you feel me?
It kind of just gives him freedom. He doesn't have to stay home every day and take care of special needs. Yeah. It's like an excuse, right? He came over in the morning and he's like banging on the door. I'm like, oh great, here we go, you know? And then...
He was just terrible, wasn't he?
Dad, and then he was like, Mommy, and like ran to me and was like holding me. He's like, you're not taking me to school. And I was like, it's okay, Dad, you can just drive you to school, it's no big deal. You know, just trying to make it whatever. Yeah, calm. And then he was just being real smirky and real like jerky, you know, to me. And I was like ignoring him, whatever. And so he was like,
your brother lives there with you?
No. Okay. He had stayed with me last night because I was worried he was going to come over and cause trouble with me. Okay. I just wanted someone else there, like my brother there, because I trust my brother.
They would claim self-defense as the reason Charles was killed. And as the cops continue to question Lori, they start to believe this even more.
He goes nuts. He's gone nuts on us a lot of times. Tylee and I have had to leave with JJ over the years probably 5 times and just stay in the hotel for 2 days because you don't know what's going to set him off. Like, she's mad at me for always, like, going back. But we had JJ and he's special needs and it's really hard. Like, it's even harder to take care of by yourself.
So you thought, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you?
Absolutely. He was going to hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ. He never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like, he was going, like, ballistic about it. Was bad.
Okay.
An angry husband losing his temper during a divorce is not uncommon, and feuding couples often come to blows, making her story more and more convincing. But according to Charles's ex-wife Cheryl, this was not the man she knew. She says they were married and divorced, and not one time, not 1 second, was he ever physically threatening to me, directly contradicting what Lori is saying.
When you say he goes nuts, that can mean a lot of different things. So, physical violence.
He's never really, besides like grabbing us and pushing us, but not like punching us or something. But with Tylee, he has gotten physical.
Okay.
He went like he was going to hit her, but then I got in between them.
So this morning he comes back in and...
He comes back in, I wouldn't give him his phone. He was screaming at me to give him his phone. He was very worried
about whatever
was on his text that he did not want me to see. And so I was just holding it there, and he was screaming at me. And so Tylee came out of her room upset, and she had a bat, and she told him to leave her mother alone, like, right? So she was really, whatever, and he's screaming at her, don't you hit me with that bat, blah, blah, blah. And then my brother heard all the commotion because he was in there, and so he came out into the main room, and he's yelling at Tylee, don't you hit me with that bat, and blah, blah, blah. And so Tylee, I guess, I don't know if she swung at him or what, but he, like, grabbed the bat from Tylee and then went to, like, hit Tylee with the bat. It was, and I was right there, they were right there, and my brother grabbed him from behind, like, just to stop
him. His line with a straight face.
They got into the thing, and he's hitting him with the bat, and they're on the ground, like, grappling around or whatever. And then,
and he hit your brother with the bat while they were grappling and stuff?
Yes.
But there are lingering questions left by the investigation. One such example being that the autopsy ruled one of the gunshots impacted while Charles was on the ground. Imagine being in a situation where you have no choice but to shoot someone. You'd probably freeze up, and you'd do anything you could to avoid.
Yeah, they don't be knowing that, bro. You got people, bro, that specialize in stuff. Like, they can just look and just tell, like, okay, he was on the ground when he got shot, so this ain't self-defense. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. They be thinking they so smart, but really so dumb. Where you got people that literally specialize in these stuff. So they can just look at him. He got shot in the ground. He was on the ground and he got shot. He was this way when he got shot. He was that way when he got shot. Heck yeah, bro. You got people that specialize in stuff like that, that know like how a person was when they got shot. That's why they ruled it as a homicide.
But incapacitating them instead of finishing the job. So it seems strange that Alex decided to shoot Charles a second time when he was already flat on the ground. Furthermore, it also seems strange that it would take almost 45 minutes for anyone to call 911. Although she claims it was down to shock, this is conveniently just enough time to concoct an alternative version of events and a solid story to give to the police.
Okay, so you hear the argument, you step out, what's the first thing that you see?
Charles chasing after Lori Neal.
Okay. Had Tylee already gotten the bat? Did he already have the bat? Okay. No. So Charles is coming towards Lori.
He's coming towards Lori, and I shoved him back.
Okay.
I said, what are you doing? Because he's coming at her aggressively.
Okay.
He's a big dude, so I wasn't gonna.
So he's coming at her.
Yeah.
And you shoved him back.
Yeah.
What happened right after that?
So I went into the bedroom where I was staying, grabbed my gun, I came back. I said, put that bat down. He's like, what are you going to do? So you're going to threaten me? I was like, no, I'm just going to defend myself. So you put that bat down. And he goes, what are you going to do like that? And he came at me.
Okay.
And he'd already hit me in the head.
So you gave him, how many times did you say you told him to, like, put the bat down?
Once.
Once? Okay. And then he started advancing towards you?
Yes.
How many shots did you fire?
I don't know. Couple.
One of Lori's friends later reported that Lori had said Alex believed her theories about Charles being possessed by evil, and the reason he was at the house at the time of death is simple. He believed Charles was going to try and kill Lori and moved in with her to help keep her safe.
I didn't see the shot, I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground. Okay. And was freaking out. Yeah. And so I was just freaking out, and it just went into mom mode. I'm like, I've got to go to the kids. She just go, I gotta get to the kids. I just went like, I gotta get to the kids. And so I just went outside and to see if they were in there okay. I didn't want them coming back in the house when all that was going on. And Tylee was like looking at me with like the crazy eyes, like what just happened. And I told her to get in the car and we're gonna take JJ to school. And I just left.
When you came back in and you saw him on the ground, where was your brother? Did you see him where he was at?
Yeah, he was right in front of him.
Did your brother say anything to you at all? Do you remember?
No, we were both just in shock.
Okay.
Like, it was just I didn't say anything. I went out with the kids just to check on them first, and I was going to come back in maybe, but I didn't. I was like, I just have to get him to school.
Okay.
And call the police, come back, you know.
Did you or your brother say anything at some point about calling the police or calling 911? Do you remember?
Yeah, he called me.
Okay.
And he said, "Are you taking JJ to school?" And I said, "Yeah, we need to call the police." And he said, "Okay."
Okay. So he called you.
Just be lying with a freaking straight face.
Because I was like in the car for a minute, and then I was like, "What do I do?"
It looks on the surface.
What do I do?
Enraged Charles stormed the house and started
shouting. Nigga, call the police.
Alex decided to intervene.
Nigga said, "Okay, my husband just died, so okay, my husband just died. Well, I'm gonna take JJ to school." You know what I mean? So your first thought was not calling the police. You waited 45 minutes to call the police. You know what I mean? I can see crazy from a mile away. I'm telling you. I can see crazy from a mile away. You know what I mean? You ain't fooling me, shawty. I'm telling you. You're not fooling me at all. If the ex come up, bro, you know, you got some crazy exes out there, bro. You know what I mean? That lie on a dude and be like, "Yeah, he was this, he was that, he was that." You know what I mean? For the ex to come up and be like, he wasn't that type of man, he wasn't that type of man. I can look at him and just tell he wasn't that type of man. Everything that man said about that woman is true. Everything.
Fearing for his sister's life.
Nigga ain't just lying about stuff like that, bro. He ain't gonna cap. She'll lie about something like this, though. You know, to keep her brother or keep herself out of jail. But nigga ain't just, oh yeah, let me call 12 and just make up a story about her saying that she's one of the 144 chosen people. You know, Jesus is coming back, and let me just make up this story about a cult. You know what I mean? Like, that right there is some crazy work. You know what I mean? Nigga ain't just lying about that, bro. He was speaking too fast and too, bro, like, come on, bro.
It as a disagreement quickly turned into a fight, one that would end with Charles
They ain't
lying
finna
cold
lie
on the
about
ground. And Ty Lee seems to back up what Lori and Alex said when she tells her version of events.
Oh, so she a freaking demon too. Look at the little girl. Dang, you look soulless. What, you part of the cult too? So you a part of the pack too, huh? You know what I mean? Mom then hypnotized you, little girl.
I opened the door, and it was my stepdad, and he was
Stepdad.
just screaming at both of them. Like, and
This is exactly why I'll never be like, that's why I tell none of the dudes, never go into a house. Like, never date a girl with a kid. I don't care about nothing. It's not gonna work out, bro. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, bro. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. Never date a girl with a kid. I don't care how bad she is. You know what I mean? Never date a girl with a kid. Once you got a kid, you're off the market. Simple as that. Once you have a kid, you are off the market. You know what I'm saying? Never date a girl with a kid. Never.
So I just kind of stuck.
Because for me, I ain't gonna lie. For me, I'm a beat them. I don't know, man. It's just like, like these kids these days, I'm not finna respect you because you're not my dad. You know what I mean? You're not my dad, so you can't tell me what to do, but you sleeping under my roof. Like the audacity of these little mutts. You're not my dad. I'm gonna whoop the heck out that little kid. You better get that little kid out of my face. I already know what type of dude I am, so that's why I never put myself in that position. Because I'm gonna beat the brakes off that little nigga and your baby daddy. You feel me? So it's just like, for me, bro, I ain't got time for a little kid talking about I ain't his dad. He ain't gonna listen to me. He gonna get his dad on me. I ain't got time for that, bro. Cause I'm real life crazy, real life throw. I'll real life hurt that little kid, bro. I ain't gonna cap. Like, get that little kid out my, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, just don't deal with that, bro. I ain't gotta worry about that when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? And then you got sometimes the moms, don't discipline him. That's my job. Long as this little nigga in this house, sleeping on my bed, watching my TV, eating my food, I'ma beat this, I'ma discipline like I'm his dad. I'm his daddy. You know what I mean? Simple as that. This nigga in my house, and nigga, I'm his daddy. You feel me? Straight up. But I ain't never gotta worry about that. I ain't never gonna be in that position. Never go to a maid house. That girl got a kid, stop talking to her immediately.
There, and then he just grabbed
Okay, how bad
so
you is.
I fell to
Don't
the
talk to me
ground,
if you got a kid.
And
It was
then
you.
my uncle kind of like, I saw him take a step back, so my uncle, I think, grabbed him and kind of took him back so he couldn't like do anything. And so my mom said to go with JJ, and so I ran out the door, and then I kind of just stood there, and then eventually my mom came out, and then I heard a noise, which I know what it was now, but it sounded like someone like took it and hit it really hard against the floor. Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that like my stepdad didn't do anything to my uncle and stuff. And so she was like, no, like I was fine, like we're just gonna take JJ to school. And I was like, okay.
Despite Charles's lack of a violent history and how many times Alex nearly slipped up on scene, Lori's story coupled with Ty Lee's perspective was enough for detectives to officially rule this as self-defense. But the death of Charles Vallow was just the tip of the iceberg, and investigators quickly discovered that Lori had become entangled in the world of a seedy cult that would turn this seemingly perfect mom into a stone-cold killer.
Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? Listen, just tell people what's happening. There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
Just days after Charles's death, Lori decided it was time for a change and moved the entire family across the country to Rexburg, Idaho.
So none of them got charged. None of them got charged with the murder of Charles.
Choice at
they got away
first,
with it.
Until you realize that this was the hometown of Chad Daybell, and Lori was now living minutes away from a man who had not only convinced her that her husband was evil, but was now beginning to spin the same evil stories for her kids as well. But this is when detectives met Melanie, Lori's best friend and another member of her cult. She was there to spill all the sordid details on their ideology and the beliefs that could soon lead to the death of Lori's kids.
They died? They died?
That it's some childhood friend that Charles had, and that he died, and then he came back as he didn't ever leave. He was an unclean spirit that got trapped on the earth, and he was now attached to him for years, and he'd been studying him, right, and his behaviors and stuff like that. And so then he pushed his spirit out of the body and took over. That's what he said.
Pushed Charles' spirit.
Yeah, so his spirit now moved on. So she believed that Charles was gone. He was already gone. So she was treating him like he was Zack Snyder.
This is all extremely confusing, but simultaneously.
You see how mental health is? See how bad mental health is? You see how stupid some humans is? This woman calling me Nick Schreider. Freak is wrong with this woman, bro? See how bad, like, bro, the brain and mental health is crazy. The girl's a mental case. The girl need to be in the hospital. The girl is sick.
Eye-opening, as it gives us a direct window into what Lori believed about her own family. Apparently, she thought Charles was possessed by a dark spirit, and by that point, he was already gone. The problem is, she thought the same for her children. Charles had corrupted them, and they'd turn into zombies.
So you mentioned zombies.
Yeah.
Was that ever a term that you were exposed to by them? Okay. Tell me more about the zombie.
She said she had a dream once, an earthquake happened in Utah. People that fell on the earth, if they were able to get rid of all the zombies in the world, then those zombies wouldn't get into those dead bodies and come back. I remember one time she took a map and she's like, okay, here's the United States. We're going to do a prayer. Let's find out how many zombies are in Arizona. Okay, there's 20,000. And I don't even remember the numbers, it was saw out there. And then she'd say a little prayer, whatever words she'd come up with that she thought were powerful, and then he would check, oh, somebody died, look, you can come find out. So then that was her way. In my opinion, you know, what I saw, at least, was just through a prayer that these people would pass away.
Lori believes that if the earth was to truly be pure, all the zombies had to be killed. Chad also began to feed Lori more and more fantastical lies about how the world worked, including ascension, translation, and the ability to meet with God himself.
And then they had a scale of 0 to 100% how much you could trust people. I was supposed to be like 97%. They were always building me up. Anyway, she would sometimes share like, oh, this person or that person, that's not trustworthy, it's this person. You know, that was their booking.
Over about, maybe you know or don't know, vibrations.
So vibrations, yes, I'm aware of that too. So according to how he would check, he used that little pendulum thing on. I didn't know that in the beginning, but anyway, 1,000 was supposed to mean, if you got to 1,000, that means you're translated, or you're beginning your translation. And then as you get higher in your vibration, you could portal at some point, maybe, I'm trying to remember what she would say, 2,500 maybe, or something like that. And so the more you went to the temple, your vibration would increase. So it's just like your light would increase, your strike rate, and that kind of
stuff. Oh my God, I can't believe it's
Lori
really
had become convinced
people.
she could speak to Jesus and appeared to be consumed by Chad's work. Not long after, their relationship
can't believe like people walking around like this. Like, we are amongst these people. Like, look at them. Like, we are amongst these people. Can't believe it. Like, bro. that is real, like mental, like real mental, bro. No cap.
Began to heat up, and they even started a religious podcast together that showed, frankly, just how insane she had become.
I too have seen the resurrected Jesus Christ, and he has told me my mission, and he has sent me to help people and lift them in their missions.
Over time, Lori had become more outspoken with her beliefs of zombies and began to tell her friends about how many people had been consumed by evil spirits and demons. Lori then started telling her friends that her son JJ's behavior had changed and that he had started telling her he loved Satan, as well as becoming more disruptive in the home. Had police listened to Charles Vallow when he feared for JJ and Tylee's lives, then they could have prevented the series of tragic events that followed. Only days after moving
then you let her get it. You let her get away. You let her get away with Charles' murder. Oh my God, you let her get away. Literally, they didn't get charged with the murder of Charles.
Lori, Alex, JJ, and Tylee visited Yellowstone Park. This was the last time anyone saw Tylee alive.
Ain't Tylee, you talking about your, you know what I'm saying? Tylee, the woman that you was so adored about, the woman that you saved from your stepdad, turns out to be the woman that kills you.
Yellowstone Park. This was the last time anyone saw Tylee alive. Things became even stranger on September 17th, 2019, when JJ was spotted running into his Idaho home on a neighbor's door cam, never to be seen again. Months later, people started to realize that they hadn't heard from JJ in a long time, and Charles' parents called 911 to alert the police of his disappearance. Lori was caught lying to officers on November 26th after they had made a welfare check on JJ. According to Lori, her son was with her friend Melanie back in Arizona, but Melanie not only denied having him, but she also told police Lori had asked her to lie and pretend to officers JJ was staying with her. Then, in December, Alex died suddenly. His death was ruled as natural causes, but the amount of death and strange occurrences involving Lori was reaching impossible levels of coincidence. By this time, police were also extremely concerned for the welfare of JJ and Tylee, so Lori was served an order in January 2020 forcing her to prove that they are safe and well. However, the deadline came and went, and Lori was arrested 3 weeks later and placed on a bail of $5 million. But even after the arrest, both Lori and Chad remained silent and refused to give up any information on the kids. But finally, a further 5 months later, the police would get their answers when detectives initiated a search of Chad Daybell's property. There, they found the bodies of JJ and Tylee. JJ's body was found wrapped in duct tape and placed in a plastic bag, while Tylee had been dismembered and burned in a fire pit before being buried. Police arrested Chad immediately, and Lori's trial began not long after. It took another 3 years, but eventually she was found guilty of first-degree murder, conspiracy
so
to
Jesus asked you to do that. Jesus asked you to murder. That's what Jesus asked you to do, right? You know what I'm saying? So God asked you to murder kids. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Would have just listened to the husband, man. Would have just listened to the husband, man.
Degree murder and grand theft
she
disappointed children. Lori was far from remorseful in a bizarre statement she made to the court.
She did the work of God. She think she did the work of Jesus Christ.
My beautiful children, Tylee Ashlyn and Joshua Jackson, rest safely this day in the arms of Jesus. And I look forward to the day when we are all reunited, and I too will rest with them in the arms of my Jesus.
Thankfully, this evil mother, if you can even call her that anymore, won't be getting out anytime soon, as she was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences. She's not finished in the courtroom yet, though, as her trial for murdering Charles is set to start in April 2024. As of March 2024, Chad Daybell is yet to go to trial, but he could be facing a similar conviction and a lifetime behind bars.
Oh man, that's crazy, y'all, man. That's crazy. Really got people that's like this. You know, really got people that's like this in the world, man. Man. But man, I hope y'all enjoyed this stream, man. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? People is sick, man. People is very, very sick. People need help for sure. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the bell like the video, man. Your boy Jay, man. It's a good stream today, man. Oh my God, man. It's crazy, man. Like I said, man, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn the bell like the video. Your boy Jay out, man.